Okay, it's me again. Um, Part two or chapter two of Jake Drake Bully Buster. Yay! I set my timer. Okay, here we go. Chapter two Super Bully. Second grade started out great. My mom and dad had asked for me to be in Mrs. Brattle's class. They told me she was the best teacher at D Press Elementary School. She smiled a lot, and there wasn't any homework, and there was a lot of neat stuff all over her room. So I was happy she was my teacher. Phil Willis had Mrs. Brattle too. Willie and I were already best friends back in second grade, and we had fun every day. We sat at the same group of tables. We were reading partners. We ate lunch together every day, and we always goofed around during recess. We didn't ride the same bus, but after school, sometimes I went to his house and sometimes he came over to mine. Best of all, Mrs. Brattle's class had zero bullies, not one. It was great. I still had to be careful at lunchtime and out on the playground, but most of the time, my life was bully free. Then, right before Halloween, a new kid came to town. The minute he walked into Mrs. Brattle's room, I knew it was going to be trouble. Mrs. Brattle said, "Class, we have a new student today. His name is Link Baxter." She kept talking and we all looked at the new kid. I could see he was kind of tall for a second grader. He had brown hair and a pointy nose and long arms with big hands. Baxter stood there and started looking around the room at all of us, too. When he came to me, he stopped. I looked into his face and I saw that Link Baxter had had beaut. I looked at his face and saw that Link Baxter had beady little eyes, bully eyes. And Link saw me seeing this. And then he smiled at me. It was not a nice smile. No pictures. Then Mrs. Brattle, this lady who was supposed to be such a great teacher, what did she do? She put Link at the same group of desks with me and Willie. Right away, Willie whispered, "Hi, I'm Phil. But really, I'm Willie. That's my nickname." You see, Willie had Willie has never had any trouble with bullies, mostly because he's too small. He's a nice kid and he minds his own business, and bullies don't even seem to notice him. So Link smiled at Willie and said, "Hi." Then Willie pointed at me and said, "This is Jake." Link Baxter pointed his beady eyes at me and smiled that bully smile again. And he said, "Jake, okay." I tried to smile and nod at him, but I know I looked kind of spooked because I was spooked. And Link could see I was spooked. And he liked it. And that's when I knew I was in big bully trouble. Link was only 8 years old, just like me, but I could tell right from the start that Link had big plans. He wanted to be the MVP on the Bully All Star team. He wanted to make it into the Bullies Hall of Fame. And me, Jake Drake, I was his new project. On that first day when Link came to my class, we practiced handwriting. Mrs. Battle passed out some lined white paper. We had to write 6 sentences very, very neatly. Handwriting practice was the only time we could use a pen instead of a pencil. I loved using a pen. It was made of bright red plastic and it had black ink. There was a little button on the side. When I pushed the button, the pen went click and the top popped up. So I was in the middle of my fifth sentence, almost done. The pen was gliding over the smooth paper. My handwriting looked great. Then Link gave his desk a quick shake. My desk was touching his desk, so my pen went jerking all over. My paper was a mess. I looked over at Link and he smiled, then whispered, "Nice pen." So I went up to Mrs. Brattle and got a new piece of paper. I started copying my sentences. I started copying my sentences again. But now I watched Link all the time to be sure he didn't shake his desk again. I was so nervous that I messed up two more pieces of paper all by myself, and Link didn't make me make a move. So I settled down, and I was on the very last sentence when Mrs. Brattle was helping the kid at the back of the room. So Link reached over real fast and flicked my ear. Not hard, just enough to make me jump. My pen skidded and my paper was a mess all over again. You see, Link was no ordinary bully. Any big kid can push a little kid around. That's one kind of bullying. But this was different. Link Baxter, well, he got inside my head, and it only took him 20 minutes. No doubt about it. This was a bully with real talent. So there I was, asking Mrs. Browder for my fifth piece of paper, and she said, Jake, you should be more careful. And I almost shouted, yeah, well, you should pay more attention. Don't you know there's a super bully loose in your classroom? But of course, I didn't say that. Because the second rule about bullies is that if you tattle to the teacher, things might get a little worse. And I had a feeling things were going to be bad enough already. And I was right. That's chapter 2. I'm going to keep on reading until my clock go off. Chapter 3, From Bad to Worse. So I got on the bus after Link's first day of school, and I looked out the window and I saw Link walking behind Mrs. Brattle. She was showing him which bus to ride home. Please, I whispered, not my bus, not my bus, not bus 3. Please, 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 not bus 3. But Mrs. Brattle led him right over to bus number 3, and 10 seconds later, Link was on my bus, standing there next to me, looking down at me. In a voice much louder than it needed to be, he said, Hey, Fake, anyone else gonna sit here? I looked up and I remember how tall he was. But now he was messing with my name, and he already had me mad and scared at the same time. But I didn't care because I didn't want him to make fun of my name. So I said, My name's Jake, Jake Drake. And right away, I knew I had made a mistake because now he knew that I cared about him goofing around with my name. Link smiled that special bully smile. He said, Yeah, I know. Like I said, your name's Fake, Fake Drake. And that made the other kids on the bus start laughing. And then he sat down next to me. He didn't push me or hit me because anybody can do that sort of thing. He was a new kind of bully. He was a super bully. I felt my ears turning red. My lips were clamped together. I turned my head away from him and looked out the window. I was ready for the next attack, but it didn't come. A fourth grader in the seat across had a baseball glove. So Link said, What's the best little league team in this town? And Link started talking about how he was on the top team in his old school. He didn't want to join a new team unless it was going to be a winner. It was like I wasn't there. I was right there on the seat next to him, but I might as well have been on the moon. The bus stopped at Maple Street and some kids got off. Then at Cross Street and more kids got off. And then the bus went to my stop, Greenwood Street. So I said, I have to get off the bus stop about I have to get off the bus at this stop. About 10 kids stood up at the bus as the bus slowed down. But Link kept talking to the fourth grader about Little League. So I said it louder. This is my stop. I have to get off here. I looked over I looked over the seat in front of me. There were only by the bus, 3 kids left up by the bus driver. So I shouted, "Now! I have to get off now." The bus driver looked up into the mirror and frowned. But Link smiled at her, and loud enough for everyone to hear, he said, "Oops, I almost forgot, Fake. I'm a new kid, remember? This is my stop, too. This is where me and Fake Drake get off the bus." Following Link Baxter off the bus, that was one of the worst moments of my life. As I went down those tall black steps, I thought every morning and every afternoon and all day long for the rest of my second grade, maybe for the rest of my life, it's going to be me and Link Baxter. Something was going to have to change. Chapter 4, Bully-itis. No picture, but my clock is going off. I enjoyed that. I want to see what's going to happen next. But I'll say goodnight to you. Bye. Happy Flex Friday.